Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Janelle Copeland, and in this video I want to talk to you about the fact that starting a business in the middle of a recession may be a good idea. I did it myself, and I want to share some tips that will hopefully help you push through regardless of what time of the year it is, what's happening in the economy. So let's figure out how to win together, and let's dive in. I shared my backstory on how I actually started my business and what happened. I lost my job. My husband lost his job. We were at our worst financial time. Definitely head over, watch that video for context, and then come back to this one. So let's take it back to 2009. The 2008 financial crisis had just hit. People were losing their jobs left and right, and it was just a terrible time. People didn't have money. My kids were in gymnastics. I had to pull them out of gymnastics. When I started watching these cake shows and getting inspired to start baking, and I decided that I wanted to start a business, everybody had an opinion. Everyone said that it was a bad time to start a business because we were in a recession. It would never make it. It's not very smart. People don't have money. They're not going to buy your products. And here's what I thought. I thought, I'm not getting into the baking industry. I'm not starting a cake business. I'm getting into the celebration business. And regardless of how broke or rich people are, how much money or lack of money they have or don't have, people are always going to find a way to celebrate their kids, especially their kids' birthdays. And so I really loved the idea of making these $2,000-$3,000 over-the-top showstopper cakes, which is why I got into baking, is because I loved the art. But I also wanted to serve the community in a way that I knew the community needed to be served, because I was a mother of 3 small kids and we were going through financial issues and struggles. But even though we were at our lowest point financially, I still wanted to find a way to make sure that my kids felt celebrated, especially on their birthdays. So what happens in a recession, especially when people who have kids, parents, need to cut back? What do you cut back on? You cut back on these elaborate Pinterest-worthy celebrations, and maybe you're not gonna rent a hall or take 10 kids to Disneyland or do these big things that cost a ton of money, but you're always gonna find a way to let your kid blow a candle out on something. And I think you get where I'm going with this. If you're starting a business that you feel passionate about, that you know is a necessity, that you know you can relate whatever it is that you make to where people are in, the world right now, in their lives emotionally, then I think you're gonna have good success. And here's some examples of what I mean by that. There's certain categories that we're always gonna need. People are always going to need help with maintenance. Why? Cars break down, your plumbing, something happens if you're a homeowner. There are certain industries that no matter what the economy is doing, there will always be a demand for. When the pandemic hit, you could be thinking, well, the health industry, the gym industry got hit really hard. Yeah, well, nobody foresaw having to shut non-essential businesses down. But again, going back to essentials, there were still so many people who repaired air conditioners that were busier than ever. There were people that did home remodels that were busier than ever. There were people that had electrical businesses that were busier than ever. And so I think if you get into a market or an industry that people will always need, then you're always gonna be relatively safe. So back to my business, I knew that it wasn't a smart idea to be making $3,000 cakes because people were saying that they didn't have money and people were telling me it was a bad idea. But I did know that if I found a way to serve the community and always talk about celebrations and how celebrations can bring families together, and celebrations make people feel special, and celebrations are a way to give back to others or gift something that makes someone feel like they're being celebrated, then I knew in my heart that it was something that could weather the storm. And so I pushed through with my business because I knew that it was gonna be something that brought joy to people people, even if they were struggling financially. And so that's kind of my message to you. If you are on the fence about starting a business, do you believe in it so wholeheartedly that people will need it even if they have to start cutting things out of their budget? And if the answer is yes, then I think that it's a great time for you to start, but I think it's gonna come down to solid messaging. I think it's gonna come down to you doing really good storytelling and making sure that you're relating to your customers and understanding where they are. And I wanna clarify what that means. I understood that a lot of my customers were going through rough financial times. I was too, as a family, as a mom, as a wife. But I also understood that running a business and creating something with my own hands and my talent was something I had to charge, and I had to charge accordingly for. I couldn't feel bad that I knew that people wanted fancy things, and so because I felt bad, I didn't charge appropriately. That would have put me out of business. So I had to be smart and operate from a place of service with a big heart, but also I had to tell really good stories on why people needed the products that I was creating, why my products were better than my competitors, why celebrating with a cupcake from the Cake Mamas would light up your child's life, and why coming to our bakery was such a treat. And so that's the challenge that I want to leave you with. If you are thinking about starting a business and it is something you're passionate about, that you really believe people need, whether they have money or don't, then I think you should pursue it. But I also think that you need to be responsible with your own finances and manage your own business in a way that helps you understand that if your business doesn't make money, then it can't sustain itself. So your business has to generate a profit in order to be able to pay for things like more employees or marketing or anything that you're gonna need to take your business to the next level. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have more questions about how I started my business during the recession, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to help serve you in any way that I can. But again, if it's an industry that you think is recession proof and it's something that you think people need in their life, it solves a problem of some sort, then I think it's the best time for you to pursue it, because people are afraid, and lots of business owners are kind of pumping the brakes on taking their business to the next level or even getting it started, because they've got all these people, just like I had, feeding them negativity and making them afraid to take the next step because of the looming recession. And I think that if you're brave enough and you believe in it enough and you pursue it and you move forward, you're gonna be further along than any of those people that are too afraid standing around on the sidelines, and your business is gonna have a great head start to be profitable, to be thriving. And so I think you should dive in. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to connect with you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.